you want a drink?
I'm fine, thanks.
So, what do you do for a living?
I work at Sussex University.
Right.
Yourself?
I'm a beekeeper.
Really?
Yeah.
You're really a beekeeper?
I'm really a beekeeper.
It's about love and bees and astrophysics.
Pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Very well.
It's a very hard play to describe simply.
No, the structure is unique, I think.
So Constellations is this beautiful sort of love story kind of, love story primarily, but yeah, this beautiful story of these two people coming together and basically us seeing a huge amount of different variations of their relationship within different universes.
Well, the play begins with two people who meet at a barbecue.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a spark there, but in other universes,
In some universes.
there's, you know, a wife involved. And we then see these two characters playing out their lives in different universes as they negotiate the relationship.
It's interesting because it's not the narrative isn't particularly linear. It asks the audience to make some decisions, I think, about what's happening, basically, which universe we might be in, or whether there's connections between certain universes that we've already touched on and things in the future.
So Marianne is an astrophysicist. Well, she's a lecturer in astrophysics, and she's very passionate about the universe and the cosmos and these theories, and that makes her a really great teacher. Perhaps less good at social engagement, but at the beginning of the play, she puts herself out there for this guy, and then we get to see her negotiate this foreign territory. But she also has a really great sense of humour.
Wasted on poor Roland.
Wasted on Roland a lot of the time.
He's a beekeeper. He loves the whole the world that the bees live in, their sense of purpose and direction that they are confident in from birth, basically. He hasn't really branched out into much else, I don't think, in his life, but he's very satisfied where he is.
TTC has a history of pop-up theatre. Like, this will be pop-up theatre number 11. Prior to me coming on board Tasmanian Theatre Company, they have done lots of theatre in pop-up spaces before. I think it is that idea of being able to tell stories in spaces that people are not used to. They can receive those stories in a more open manner.
Pop-up spaces can often invite people into the theatre that maybe don't feel as comfortable going into a traditional space that is like foyer and the big doors and this is how you behave in this environment, because there are so many unspoken rules in the theatre.
Pop-up theatres are always fascinating to light because you have to build the theatre first, and this one especially is actually the building right behind us, and it is not a theatre and doesn't actually have many of the things that you would expect a theatre to have. So there are really a blank canvas to work with, and we're starting from first principles. We're also turning it on its head because it's really a show that's going to be different to every person in the audience because of the way that it is physically set up.
People will come to this space and they might have been here for a gig or they've been here for a few drinks, but there would be very few people that have been to see a play.
Donald, who's a draftsman and one of the owners here at Hobart Brewing Company, when they turned the red shed
into the brew house and into a bar, Donald, in his transformation of the space and all of the things and fittings that he created, were inspired by the structure of the buildings.
It's really nice to actually welcome some theatre into the Red Shed. It's going to look absolutely amazing.
So we get a lot of people that come in here for the beer, obviously, and it's great to see lots of people coming here for the live music as well. As Jimmy said, it's really nice to see some different art in here as well. I love theatre, so it'll be great. There's amazing acoustics here in the Red Shed, so it'd be great to see some theatre in here as well.
I think it has something to do with space. And when we were talking about your job earlier on, I was nodding along pretty much the entire time, but when we stepped through your front door, I realised I hadn't really understood a single thing you said.